From the studios of CEC Television, we welcome you to the 2017 Dixie State Fall Sports Media Day. My name is Carrick Segmiller, Assistant Coordinator of Media Relations and Radio Voice of Trailblazer Athletics, and I'm excited to serve as the moderator for today's event. We're pleased to have you joining us, whether it be on the radio at ESPN 97.7 FM, on television at TDS Cable Channel 22, or online at the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page. Today we give you an inside look at the 2017 fall sports teams with football, men's and women's soccer, men's and women's cross country, and women's volleyball. Now before we introduce our first guest, let's meet the members of our media panel helping us ask the questions today. First, to my immediate right, Devin Dixon from ESPN 97.7 FM. To his right, sports reporter for the Spectre newspaper, Justin Giles. And to his right, St. George News sports reporter, Darren Cole. As always, thanks for being here today, guys. It's a pleasure to have you on board for the 2017 Fall Sports Media Day. Our first guest is entering his 8th year as Director of Athletics at Dixie State. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Jason Booth to Media Day.
Thanks, Carrick.
Thanks for being here, Jason. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Just ask you for an opening statement, and then we'll turn it over to these guys to ask you some questions from the media.
Well, first, I'd like to thank our panel for being here, Devin, Justin, and Darren. Thank you so much for doing this, and of course, everyone behind the scenes here at CEC TV. This is a great privilege to be able to have this and this support to do this, so thank you. This is a very exciting time to be at Dixie State and to be a Trailblazer. Every year I think I say that, but it means more and every year we keep continuing to build and to grow. We're in for a huge enrollment jump this year across campus, so that excitement, even with today with orientation going on, you can already feel it on campus, and it's going to do a lot of really good things for the university and of course the athletic department as well.
Turn it over to questions from our media.
I'll go first. First of all, congratulations. I think every program in the athletic department took a step up last year. Yeah. As far as my question, the political climate this year, especially with the Colin Kaepernick protesting and athletes doing different things that as their First Amendment right, but perhaps injuring their brand and their team's brand and the league's brand. It hasn't trickled down to college yet. How do you balance the players from the various teams, because they're the most diverse clubs on campus are the varsity athletics, with their rights versus protecting the brand of the university?
That's a great question, Darren. We absolutely love the diversity that we have here on campus and respect and embrace that. I think it's vital to the overall experience of all of our students and student athletes to experience that and to learn and grow from it, and it's part of life. So we love it. Now, if one wanted to assert their First Amendment rights and to do that, we would fully support that, provided that it doesn't interfere or impact the event itself. There's nothing that we would be doing to prevent that. Because we respect their right to do that to the fullest extent. We've had discussions a little bit with other athletic directors in the various conferences that we're in, just for best practices and what people would do. But if it comes up, well, it's obviously a case-by-case basis upon what he or she would like to do. We would address it in that fashion.
Jason, 8 years. And Carrick said 8 years. I mean, the excitement level continues to rise, but what's different? What's different for you, your role, your job, your relationship with the coaches, the student athletes, now that you've been here for that amount of time?
Yeah. Well, I think it's just a natural maturation process of the teams and everything that we've done. Like Darren said, this last year was a tremendous year of significant success across the board. We only had one conference championship last year in men's soccer, but almost every other team was right there. Yeah. I mean, we were right on the doorstep of having maybe 4 or 5. So, men's basketball was right there, and softball was, of course, right there, baseball. And what you end up seeing was, even though baseball and softball didn't win the conference, they got further than the conference champion did in the NCAA tournament, to the West Region Finals in both. And you forget that kind of impact. But tennis got to the conference tournament. Men's golf was in the NCAA tournament again. Of course, women's soccer was on the verge of the conference title until the last week or 10 days of the season. So just a progressive growth every year in all of our programs across the board is probably the biggest thing that has changed. And of course, football having his first ever winning season at the NCAA really got the year off to a great start. And of course, men's soccer going undefeated in the conference was a nice feather in our cap too. So it's fun to see that just the natural and the progressive growth from when I got here in 2010 to today.
Jason, just the growth, as you mentioned, just so much in those 8 years. I know you guys have done a lot with new facilities, new tracks, new fields, new weight rooms.
Yeah.
Do you have any more plans you want to announce today? Anything more exciting to keep going?
Well, gosh, there's so many. Yeah, where do we start? I mean, from just the amazing job our coaches have done to recruit great student athletes on the fields, on the courts, and in the classrooms as well, has really paved the way to allow us to have this great growth in facilities. Legend Solar Stadium, we just finished the track and the field over the summer, just in time for the 4th of July and the 24th of July celebration, so that's done. But phase 2 will begin here in a few weeks. The road is already blocked off. 800 East is already blocked off to traffic because the seating will go back, as you can see on the pictures here. The seating will go back onto 800 East, and that road will have to be rerouted. So another 5,000 seats, locker rooms, concession stand, ticketing, restrooms, locker rooms primarily for the visiting team, but really what it'll allow us to do is to host external community events in our stadium, high school games, from football to soccer to, you name it. So really, really exciting opportunities for us there. We have just finished a renovation of the baseball locker room, which was a little bit of a quieter project because it was all done by the generous donations of baseball alumni. And so, new flooring and lockers and a little bit of carpet and paint and lighting, it just changes the whole look of that place. So brings that up a level. Down the road, we've got the Human Performance Building going to be started here this fall. Plans are being finalized, and it'll sit in the parking lot in front of the Student Activity Center. That will be a game changer on campus. That building is 155,000 square feet, an Olympic-sized pool, academic space, fitness space. It's a legit, real rec center, multi-use building for the students, and that will really change what the Holland building did for campus a few years ago to change it from what a junior college feel to a university feel. That will really put us on the map as the best rec center facility in the state by far. Beyond that, the others, we have some more renovations we'd like to do on the Burns Concourse. We saw a little bit of a tease this winter. We want to finish that. We want to get started with renovations on softball. So we're still raising money for that facility to get that up to par. I'm sorry, I forgot one. We also renovated the inside of our weight room with new flooring and new racks, and that really makes it look like a new venue. So just what's next, and just check it off the list and keep going. But the facility upgrades are tremendous and something that we have to continually keep our eye on and do year in and year out.
Talk a little bit about the relationship with the RMAC, their excitement level now that all Sparks are going in. What's that communication been with some of the other?
It's been phenomenal. I've been to one meeting already with advisory board meetings of all the athletic directors and SWAs. Tremendous organization. The Pac West has also been very, very good to us and a tremendous conference. But as we stated when we made the announcement that we're moving it, the RMAC is just a better fit for us for the long term, getting all of our sports into one conference. It's going to be a good conference. It's going to be very competitive, just like the Pac West is, but will fit better with Dixie State University and what those schools are like and what they provide, but also get our teams in a good position to get to the NCAA tournament as much, if not more, than we're already used to, just with our natural growth and improvement along the way at the same time. The Pac West is phenomenal. We've loved all of our time there, but this will be the last year of playing in the Pac West Conference.
Did the Pac West try to? I mean, did
yeah, and we
sway you back?
Yeah, we had representatives from the GNAC, who we played football in before, Pac West, and the RMAC come visit us and give us their spiels during that process a year ago. So it was definitely not, hey, we're just going to go to the RMAC. No, it was a decision. We got to weigh all the options and what's the best thing for Dixie. Last
year, I noticed, especially with football, but then it carried on through the rest of the year, that you had more student participation and attendance than I'd ever, since I've been here 6 years.
Yep.
And usually it fizzles out after game one or game two, but you had through the whole season, football season, but then basketball is number 4 in the nation in attendance, but it also carried through the spring sports. Do you think that's a result of just winning, or did you guys do other things as well
We did other things as well. I mean, it's winning will certainly help, but you can't rely on that because you just don't know from year to year. We launched an app that the students use that they all sign on to is for free for them, that we notify them of games and incentivize them to come to games, and that's really led by the student fan group, the Stampede. They've taken the lead on that, so all credit goes to them for really getting those increased numbers and the participation. But we still have some work to do. There's still plenty of other seats that we want to fill and get the student involvement continually in an upward trajectory. But with the increased enrollment, even more opportunities to get more bodies in the seats. So I would expect to see that same result this year.
What is the total number of the new football stadium going to be? When it's all said and done?
About 10,000.
10,000.
Yep. Yeah, we're about 5 right now, so another 5,000 seats.
Thanks for your questions for Dr. Jason Booth, guys. And Jason, thanks for stopping by and being part of Media Day. We've run out of time for this first segment. We're going to go ahead and run to our first break. When we come back, our first team of the day, it will be the football team. Don't go anywhere. More Fall Sports Media Day right after this timeout.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You a good girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialists and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
take care.
We will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Your daughter is having trouble learning French. Do you A, hire a tutor?
Bonjour.
B, enforce a French-only rule at home? Or C, watch some foreign films? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hey, Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey, guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi, babe. How was school today?
Hi, Dad. It was great.
Okay, honey. I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Welcome back to Fall Sports Media Day. Our first team today is coming off its first winning season, the program's Division II era, and looking for much more in 2017. The Trailblazer football team kicks off our team coverage here in the 2017 Fall Sports Media Day. Head coach Shane McClure and crew, thanks for being here. Before we get started, let's have you players introduce yourself, and then Coach will turn it to you for an opening statement.
I'm Remington Kelly. I'm from Bountiful, Utah, and I'm going into my junior year.
Hi, I'm Jalen Moore. I'm from Merida, California, and I'm going into my sophomore year. I'm Malik Watson. I'm from Pittsburgh, California, and I'm going to be a senior this year.
I'm Braden Peterson. I'm a senior offensive lineman from Draper, Utah.
Coach, opening statement.
I just want to thank the media for being here and you putting this on, Carrick. I think it's always important that, your hometown media follow you. These guys do a great job, and, the opportunity to come and tell our story and answer any questions they may have is truly a pleasure for us.
Thank you, Coach. Open it up to questions from our media.
Guess I'll go first. Coach, you had 13 all-conference awards last year. I think it's the most in the Division II era. Would you attribute that to just talent, better recruiting, or more player development in your assistant coaches?
It's all about players. I mean, obviously, we're going to try and put them in the best position we can to utilize their tools, allow them to be successful on the football field. But at the end of the day, they're the ones out there performing, so it truly is player-driven.
Coach, last year you had to run the ball a lot by necessity. This year, give us a glimpse of what we could see differently, more balanced offensively, potentially?
We're going to run offense, yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, and again, it was something that I believe in. I mean, we will establish the run, and I don't care if, Tom Brady's a quarterback and we've got the best offensive line in the history of offensive line. We're going to run the ball. I think our passing game comes off of that. Now, we do want to be more balanced? In a perfect world, 50-50, 60-40 run pass, is where we would like to be. We're also now have the capability, though, to take advantage of what a defense gives us. A year ago, we were, like I said, hand-forced a little bit. They go a 9-man box, and we're still going to run into it. I don't feel that way this year. If you want to put 9 people in the box, we'll take care of the ball in the air. If you want to, play a too-high safety look all day long, then we're going to run the ball, which is a huge advantage for us.
I know it's early in fall camp, but I always like to find out if the offense is ahead of the defense or vice versa. Are they pretty evenly matched right now? What's your gut feel as you've watched these guys perform?
It is interesting because we do compete every night and we keep score, maybe not touchdowns or field goals or picks or things like that, but we keep our own score, and it's been pretty balanced. One day the defense will be on top, the next day the offense will be on top. So it's a good competition. I don't think one's ahead of each other. Both of us have a lot of room to go in the next 2 weeks.
Coach, I ran into Colton Olson by chance yesterday. I just found out for the first time he won't be playing this year because he's hurt. So I was a little bit surprised. Who's going to be? There's some other players that are, of course, not here this year. Who are some names this year that we haven't heard before that are going to step up and that might make some good. Do some good plays this year. Sure.
Well, obviously I brought Malik with us today, and that was a huge component of us adding him to the roster in the springtime and being able to go through spring ball. On the offensive side, people won't know, Juju Coppridge, Jeffrey Coppridge, tailback, graduate transfer from California, University of California. Casey Allison, who was a transfer wide receiver a year ago but had to sit because of transfer rules. There's some young freshmen that we're really excited about. Devin Osborne at the wide receiver position, Olita Palmer at the tailback position. So on that offensive side, those are guys. Nate Hines on the offensive line. Defensively, really excited about a freshman defensive end, Terrion Brown. At the linebacker position, brought in a couple transfers. Abe Reinhart, great linebacker. And then some freshmen, local young man, Mason Tualeta out of Desert Hills. California guy, Tavita, plays Mike linebacker. And in the secondary, we've got some really, really talented young guys, and they're battling right now for that 2-3 spot, and you always need that number 2 guy, but very, very talented group of young players. We're a young football team. As you heard today, 2 of these guys are underclassmen that I brought with me. I think we have a total of 9 seniors. Of those 9, probably 4 or 5 play an integral part of what we're doing. Everybody else is an underclassman, and we knew that. And so, our successes last year, you're never going to be satisfied as a coach. Yes, I know the media liked it, the public liked it, but we have a long way to go, and we're nowhere near where we need to be. And year 2 isn't going to be that year either. We're going to go out and compete and do the best we can. We're going to try and win more games than we lose, as you always do, and we do have internal goals. But, at the same time, I know we have a lot of room to grow still.
Coach, your first opponent, New Mexico Highlands, I understand they have a new coach. You don't know a ton about them. When do you start to implement the game plan for them for that August 31st game versus focus on you guys? When's that? That's a fine line to when you flip the switch.
Yeah, we'll kind of break camp on Saturday. We're going to go in inter-squad scrimmage on Saturday, and then, the boys start school on Monday. So, when we come back onto the practice field on Tuesday, we'll start to implement some game plan-esque type of things that we think, we're going to use against Highlands. And then as the week goes along, we'll get more and more into that. It is a Thursday night game, so, we've worked out the schedule that we'll get our full complement of practices leading up to it. It is a little bit of a guessing game, and so the game plan, I think, on both sides of the ball will have to be pretty open and generic. We'll have to do a lot of in-game adjustments because we are guessing a little bit just based upon the coaches' profiles and knowing what they did in the past.
Coach, usually when I look at preseason polls, I think, oh, they're disrespecting Dixie State. But when I looked at the RMAC poll, really we're right below the three ranked, just below the three ranked teams, the upper echelon of the conference. What did you think about that poll when it came out as far as, put you a lot higher than you were last year?
Honestly, absolutely nothing. Again, I appreciate the respect that the coaches within the conference gave us. I told Carrick this on a plane ride home. I think that has a lot to do in talking to those guys, and we're a pretty close-knit group of coaches, but, they know what we can become, and I think that's a little bit of foreshadowing on their part more so than any substance to it. I put very little stock into any poll. Talk to me in November, and I'll tell you, what that poll really meant. I don't think Mesa was ranked very high last year in our preseason poll and ended up winning the conference going to the national playoffs. So, a lot of it, especially at the Division II level, is purely what you did a year ago. There's not the media coverage. Not everybody knows about the 5-star recruit that's coming into play and those type of things. So the turnover at the Division II level, both coaches and players, and how it changes year to year, I really don't put a whole lot of stock into it.
Questions for Jalen? Had a phenomenal freshman year, got named the RMAC Defensive Freshman of the Year. I know Coach was telling Devin on his show that he thinks the wide receivers are probably the most talented on the team. What's that like, you and Tynil and all them going up against, just everyday battle?
Really, it's just we really just battle out every day. It's just great because we make each other better. Me, Orlando, Cool, we all just battle it out, and it's just great because with those wide receivers, they make my steps better. With the stuff I do with them, I make the receivers better. So I just think that, with us battling out every day, grinding every day, it's going to make us a lot better.
Is there one that's maybe harder to cover than others? Are they all about the same?
Really, I just want to say that they, one is different than the other. One has a good speed release. One has moves at the line. So I can't say one is better than the other because they're different. So.
Well put. Diplomatic. Remington, you're all warmed up for this. You were out at the RMAC Media Days. You should be all ready to go. You do have a lot of holes to fill from some seniors. You lost James, you lost Darius, you lost a lot of Folky. How are the new guys on the D-line looking so far, and are you taking on that leadership responsibility and having some fun with it?
Yeah, the new guys are looking really, really good. We have some guys who got sprinkled in last year who are returning, and they're taking some really nice steps this year, this camp so far, and we still have a ways to go. The leadership's coming along from myself and the rest of the group, I believe. We're on our way to filling that void. We still have work to do, but I think we'll get there.
Malik, I'm just interested. Tell us your story, how you ended up here in St. George, Utah, playing for the Trailblazers for your senior season. What's the backstory?
So I did 2 years at my JC, Contra Costa in Richmond, California. And then I did 2.5 years at San Jose State. I graduated there last May, year and a half ago, kind of. And then I spent a summer in a fall camp at Hampton University. And, things just didn't work out there. So with my shoulder and everything else, so I wanted to take the fall off just to recover. And I did that. So I went back to California, worked the rest of the fall, and I came here in the spring.
You had a really good spring. You won the job. How's fall camp going for you personally? Feel like the chemistry is really starting to click even better than it was in the spring with the receivers and the backs?
Most definitely, yes, because we did a lot of 7-on-7 routes on air all over the summer. We did a lot of extra work just in the film room and also just on the board, trying to get the chemistry down with me and my receivers and the tight ends and running backs. We, like all the quarterbacks, we all did a good job leading up to the fall camp. And I think that this fall camp is kind of coming to fruition of all of our chemistry on the field. So I'm definitely confident in fall camp so far.
Malik, are you would you say more of a pocket passer or more of a dual threat? Or has Blake Barney rubbed off on you, just ramming guys over?
My teammates are laughing because they already know the answer. I'm more of a pocket passer. I believe that when I get out the pocket, I could do a little something, but nothing like Blake Barney. He's Mr. Dixie for a reason, so he's like the white flash, I say.
Braden, last year, I remember the first couple of games talking to the coach, the offensive line had so many injuries and so many people had to step up. First of all, how's the depth, but also how's the health of the offensive line going into this season?
The depth looks awesome. We're really excited about a lot of the freshmen they've brought in, a lot of the transfers. We've got a big, strong offensive line that looks really talented. I think we have a lot of opportunity to show, again, that we can run the ball as well as pass the ball. And that's in part to great recruiting and then great coaching, and then the players taking that and really improving a lot.
Follow-up for Braden down on the offensive line. You lose your starting center from last year and a couple other guys. Have you taken on a leadership role? Tim Mahi's come back on the line. How's that been to kind of help these new guys learn the offense and break in a new center?
It's been great. It's nice. Like I said, we had a lot of guys coming back on the offensive line, a lot of guys that had seen time at the collegiate level. Myself, as well as Tim Mahi and Zach Lugris, definitely have all seen time here at Dixie State and have each taken an opportunity to teach these young guys how we block, how we do things, how we run this offense so that we can be good. And we're excited to see in 2 weeks what we can put on the field.
Just another question for Braden. Last year, I know with injuries at the quarterback position, it was like the third game and they're down to the fourth-string quarterback. You guys had to run the ball a lot more to kind of get them adjusted. But teams, even they knew that it was coming, they still couldn't stop it. Maybe just talk about, I guess, the offense and how you guys were able to do that.
I think it was a great start with game planning. We knew what we wanted to do immediately when we stepped on the field. As an offensive line, it was very simplified, and we knew that we were bigger and stronger than a lot of people that we came across, and so we tried to use that to our advantage. And that worked out really well for us when it came to running the ball, especially when they throw 9 in the box. It wasn't ideal, but it worked. We were a really close unit last year, and that helped a lot. And we're excited to have another close unit to do the same thing.
Malik, you've had some time now to work with your skill position players. How do you feel? Are you in sync with them, and how do you feel about the talent level of the wide receivers and the running backs here?
Well, I tell this to my team all the time. We're like the Golden State Warriors, I believe. We have so much talent, especially at the wide receiver position. I believe that our chemistry is growing. I don't believe it's right where it needs to be, but, that's why we're still practicing. But I'm definitely confident that we're going to keep on getting better, and we're going to reach that peak to where we need to be.
Coach, last year the theme going into the camp was create an identity. What's the theme this year as you've created that identity last year and now you're building on that foundation laid last year?
It's interesting you asked that. We actually kept creating identity and also added on to it. But again, as I said earlier in my statement, is we have yet to create that identity for 2017. Every single year is different. And so every team's going to have a different identity. They're going to have a different mindset. Now, they're always going to lean back on the belief system we have as a coaching staff. But again, every team's different, and I don't want them to emulate what 2016 was as a team. I want them to be their own. I want them to have their own identity because that makes them who they are. At the same time, we use the acronym CYB, change your best. Last year 6 and 5 was their best. That was the best we had. That's not good enough. Change your best, and that goes from on the field, in the classroom, practice, games, all those things are encompassing and change your best. And we talk about it every single day.
Coach, Is it going to be by committee a little bit with Coach Murphy in the offense with the running backs? We know about Orlando Wallace throwing, running, catching. He does a little bit of everything, but should we expect some other guys to get a lot of totes this year, or is he going to be the workhorse?
No, Orlando's going to spend most of his time at wide receiver. We will sprinkle in some things here and there that I don't need to talk about, but there's some nuances to it. But no, say Jay Luago, Juju Coppridge, Alita Palmer, it will be running back by committee, and that's a lot of what I think. I don't think one tailback can really carry the load the entire season. I think they're all talented, as with our, Jalen talked about our wide receiving core. The running backs all bring a little something different. Juju's a shake and bake guy, Olito will run you over in a heartbeat, and JJ's kind of a combination of both. He's a little mighty might, he's the strongest person on the team pound for pound, and he can make you miss, but he'll truck you too. So, no, it'll definitely be by committee, and we have the mindset, and, Braden brought it up a little bit and answering the question. Running the football is a mindset. And we have that mindset. I don't care who you put in the box, we're going to run the ball at you, and it starts up front, but also the tailbacks have a lot to do with that.
My questions for the players. I like to stalk you guys on Twitter. I saw Juju, he's verified on Twitter, so he must be pretty good, right?
What does that mean? Sorry. I'm an old man.
The blue check mark.
Oh, is that what do I have one?
I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. I'll have to check that.
We'll get you one.
Okay, good. Give me one of those verifications.
Coach, I didn't know what that meant either.
Juju's a great ball player. We're really excited to have him. Obviously, coming from Cal, it's a great opportunity for us to have a guy who's been well respected. And we're just excited to have him in the backfield, be able to block for him, especially as an offensive line, see what we can do again with another great back in the backfield.
Coach, talk a little bit about your coaching staff. I know that you depend a lot on them, especially your coordinators, but talk a little bit. Do you got any new additions this year? And also, just talk about what they do for the team.
Yeah, we've added 2 new staff members. Our defensive backs coach, Willie Matt Garza, comes with a huge resume. I mean, USC, Tennessee, was a defensive coordinator at North Dakota State. Love him, does a great job in the room with the DBs. On the field, very energetic, but knows the game. And he's been a huge help for myself. He's been a huge help for Coach Howe, because now literally with myself, Coach Howe, and Coach Garza, you've got 3 coordinators in the room. Now, at the end of the day, Coach Howe does put his foot down because we throw out a lot of ideas at him. But, no, it's great having him. And like I said, you can ask Jalen. I think he's doing a great job with our players. And then at the wide receiver position, brought in a young man by the name of Anthony Whedon. Has spent the last 4 or 5 years at some really good Division II football programs. Again, brings in a lot of energy. He is a go guy, knows the game, understands it. And so, again, both, I think, have been huge additions to our staff, along with, who we had last year with, Coach Lou and Coach Sobre and those guys. Again, I'm really, really happy with this staff.
Question for the defenders, both Remington and Jalen. You look at it, your defense actually led the conference in opponent third down conversion last year. What's the mindset as you line up on a third down play? First Remington from the defensive line, and then Jalen lining up, face to face with the wide receiver when you're trying to get that stop and get the ball back for your offense.
Third down's actually one of the main emphasis of our team. We focus on that almost every day. We try and get in some kind of position to challenge ourselves so that we not only play well on that down, but also know the down and distance. We're smart players, along with the physicality that comes along with third down. I think a lot of it also helps with, we have Jalen, Tyneal Cooper in the back, and that just helps the defensive line amazingly, gives us a little bit more time to get to the backfield, and they really help us out back there.
Jalen, what's going through your mind? Third and long, they're probably throwing, you're lining up next to their leading receiver, and you got to make the stop.
Third and long is just really up to the D lineman, because really the coaches are gonna call a great call. They put us in situations to where we can handle it. So the D lineman, if they get to the QB, they rush him. He throw the ball. Hey, it's money. so I will say that it's really up to the front. We just all do our job, and we went third down. That's That's our motto. Win third down. That's our motto.
Well, guys, time has expired on this football session of the Fall Sports Media Day. We appreciate you stopping by. Wish you the best of luck throughout the season. We'll be following very closely your progress through this season. We've got to take our next break. When we come back, we're joined by the women's soccer team. Don't go anywhere. There's more Fall Sports Media Day right after this.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
We're back with more Fall Sports Media Day. Our next team finishing a 3rd place tie in the Pac-West last season, looking to improve on that this season. We're pleased to welcome the women's soccer team to the set here on Fall Sports Media Day. Head coach Casey Bingham and a couple of her players. Let's have you players introduce yourself, and then coach, we'll turn it to you for an opening statement.
I'm Montana Hadley. I'm from Bountiful, Utah. I'm going to be a senior, and I'm an accounting major.
I'm Darian Murdoch. I'm going to be a senior this year. I'm from Harriman, Utah, and I'm a nursing major.
Coach?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here today, and I'm happy to have Darian and Montana here with us. They're going to be a big part of our success this season, and just a little bit about my thoughts and feelings about this upcoming year. We've been, excited all summer for what this team could bring and what this team could do, and I think one thing that we've really noticed that I think is going to be a big difference from last season to this season is our depth. So we relied heavily on Darian on our attacking end, and we'll continue to do that, if that's okay, Darian. Okay. But along with that, we feel like we have players who can score goals all around the goal. So instead of relying on one, now we feel like we can have 5 or 6 different goal scorers in any given day. So that's really exciting. We feel like our back line is very strong, and they're really going to give teams a really hard time as far as getting by him, and they really came off a solid spring. So we're excited about that. We've got lots of numbers, new players joining our midfield, joining our wing, so we're excited to see what they can bring to us. But ultimately, we're going to go all out this year, and we really expect to finish on top.
Thank you, Coach. Turn it over to questions from our media.
Coach, where are some of the battles at? And with all that depth, there's got to be some starting jobs up for grabs right now. Can you take us into that and tell us some of is it the goalie position, the defense, offense, a little bit of everywhere?
Well, hopefully it's always battling everywhere, but I think really where there's some spots to be won, and that's still to be seen, is in our midfield, across from our outside wings to our center mids. There's a lot of numbers there, a lot of new kids, and we keep rolling through and going through these different options as far as who's going to be our best fit here, and they all bring us something new and different, and that spot's going to be interesting to see how that pans out and who wins those spots.
Coach, last year you started out 2-5, 0-2 in the conference, and then you went on that amazing run. You know, when you started out, were you like scratching your head, going, what's going on, and what seemed to flip the switch when you went on that run? And even the games you lost at the end, I mean, Dominican, the goalkeeper, makes 10 great saves, or you guys win that by 3 or 4. You just played great for the last 9 games. What switched? Was it a personnel change, or was it an attitude change, or what happened that got the team going?
After those first 2 losses, we sat down and we switched things up. We changed formations. We put some focus on different players, and we were trying to play with multiple forwards, and the truth was last year we had one, which was Darian. So we built our attack around her, and we had to switch some things up. So we did that, and we were flying after that point, and really felt, even with the week left, that we were going to win the conference. So it was frustrating that last week for us to drop that last game and knock us out. But at the end of the day, I think it really set a standard and showed us what we can do and how close we were. So I think it's a good thing and leaves us hungry for this year.
Coach, maybe just talk about Montana and Darian. I know they've been here for a long time. Can you believe they're seniors, and just what have they brought to the program for you?
Yeah, I can't believe they're seniors. These 2 girls, when you talk about freshmen coming in and understanding how to step up right away, how to play right away, how to be leaders right away. I mean, you're not going to meet any 2 girls who are better than these 2 here. So they've anchored our team. So from the top line to the defense, and they've changed the whole dynamic and the perspective of our team. So before, when you have your coaches asking you to, believe and put in the time and do what you need to do, that's great. But when you have players also echoing what you're saying and, doing those things on their own just because they want that for the team, it just changes your whole team when you've got players who are doing those things instead of coaches. So they've really helped change the standard, the expectation, and set the goals that we really want to achieve. So, we can't be more grateful than what they've done to get this program where it's at.
Darian, Pac West Player of the Year, all the preseason accolades, senior season. Is there a little bit of pressure, or because of the teammates and the situation you're in, is it just business as normal, or do you sit back and think about it and go, I got to play even better than I did last year, which was pretty good?
Yeah, well, last season was a good season for me, a standout season, but I feel comfortable. We've got a lot of girls coming in that are going to help with the attack, and I'm confident in our team and in my own ability to continue to get better. Every year we work hard. I feel like we get better as a team every year, and conference is our goal, and if I can put a few in to help us get there and my teammates can help me out, then that's the plan.
Coach, how do you feel about the opening of this year's schedule? You're on the road for the first little bit, to avoid the same start you had last year. Do you feel good about going into this season and also the teams that you're going to play at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I think we feel great about everything. I think we're just anxious. So last year there was question marks. When we were going into those first, few games and trips, there was some, and it was just a little ambiguous as far as what we're going to do, how we're going to approach, who's going to fit into what, and we feel like we had to get some questions answered, whereas I don't think we feel that this year. I think we feel like we're already there. We know what our direction is. We know what we're doing. This week's been helpful with that, obviously, but I don't think we're going to go into these trips trying to figure some things out. I think we're going into these trips knowing what we're doing. So I think that's going to be a big difference, but we love our schedule. You know, I think it's great. I wish we had maybe a little bit more stronger games here or there before we really get going, but we're really excited to play Sonoma, who's one of the top teams in the country, so we're excited about that, but we just want to be challenged, and we hope these teams that we play can challenge us.
Go ahead.
Montana, you're such a great defender. I love watching you play. You're so aggressive. I know Darren gets all the accolades, but the back line helps the team win too. Maybe just talk about the back line and the players who will be around you.
I think we're going to be great this year. We're all returning that we have. In the spring, we let very few goals, just like Coach was saying. So I don't think we're worried at all. We've got great keepers behind us too. I think we're ready to go. So.
Montana, what is the chatter in the backfield like? Can you give us what's that communication like? Can you give us kind of an example? I mean, I know you talk in every sport, basketball, football.
Oh.
What's it like in soccer for your teammates?
Constantly, like step, cover, you step, mark. A lot of just step and cover, or I go. Just a lot of directional talk, I guess. Yeah, we get on each other a lot, but we're all pretty good at taking it, so if you make a mistake, you'll probably get yelled at. It's all good.
Montana, as a defender, a lot of people look at soccer, and obviously your main goal is you're that back line. You want to keep the ball out of your net. But there's that role of getting those stops and then moving the ball forward quickly. You can assist in those counterattacks. How fun is that for you to not only stop the ball, but then to get your forwards involved in goal scoring, and then maybe even get forward and score a goal yourself?
That's my favorite part, is winning the tackle and then being able to drive my line. And Darren and my favorite play is me winning it, and then I play that diagonal ball over the top, and she puts it away.
She's not shy to shoot it either from back there. So
You pretty much know where the other's going to be once that tackle and that stop is made, right?
Yeah, all the time. I love getting into the attack, though.
Coach, it sounds like you got two great leaders as your captains. What's practice like with these two leading, and how are they, encouraging the younger players to come along quickly?
They've been great, but they've always been great. I think two players who, from their freshman year, were always in my ear, Coach, what can I do? What can I do? So they've always been two that want to improve themselves, which is where it starts. And other than that, I think, we talk a lot about what the team needs, and they have a lot of good input. And anything I need from them, hey, we need this to be better on the team. They get right on it. So I think they believe in themselves and the program, and they've always supported me in what I've asked from them. So, without the leadership, it's nowhere where it is right now.
Thanks for stopping by today. Time goes quickly when you get out here and on the set. The time we have for this segment has passed. We wish you the best of luck. Of course, women's soccer on the pitch just 2 weeks from today, taking on Western State, Colorado, and then, of course, that trip where they're at Northwest Nazarene and taking on Sonoma State as well a few days after that. We got to take our next break. When we come back, the men's and women's cross-country team will join us on set. It's the Dixie State Fall Sports Media Day. Don't go anywhere. There's a lot more right after this timeout.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
It's been so amazing to be able to give our child the life that we kind of pictured us having, even though we didn't really have that.
I've been in foster care my whole life.
He's so strong to just be able to leave that all behind and still be able to take care of his daughter and be a good husband.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone.
We've been through so much in our life, and he never used that as an excuse, but as motivation to do better.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates, our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can intervene.
It's on us. All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Welcome back inside the CEC TV studios as we continue our coverage of the 2017 Dixie State Fall Sports Media Day. Our next teams are poised to do big things in 2017. It's time to welcome men's and women's cross country to the set inside the studio. Head coach Justin Decker and his crew with us. We thank you for being here. Coach, let's just have your players introduce themselves one by one, and then we'll turn it back over to you for a general statement, and then turn it over to questions.
All right. My name is Hunter Chamberlain. I'm a junior, and I'm from St. George, Utah.
And I'm Jonas Desta. I'm senior, and I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah.
I'm Skylar Story. I'm from Cottonwood, Arizona, and this is my senior year.
My name's Katie Brandon. I am from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and I'm a senior this year.
Coach, just an opening statement.
Yeah, so we're very excited about the group that we have this year and the potential that they have. Obviously, we still have a lot of work to do over the next couple months to get to where we want to be by the conference and regional meets and end of October and beginning of November. But so far, things are looking great, and I'm excited about the returners we have. This group that's with me here, right here, is the leaders of the team. They've each been here a couple of years now, and bring great leadership and experience to the teams.
Open up to questions.
Hunter, are you pacing to break a lot of the records, or your personal records and times from last year as far as your training is going, getting ready for that first meet coming up in a couple weeks?
Yeah, maybe not going into the first meet. I'm not maybe looking to run my fastest time, but I'm really trying to working super hard in these next couple of weeks, because cross country is a little different than some other sports. You kind of focus on conference and the regional meet or the national meets, so you kind of work to peak at those times. So yeah, but I do plan on breaking personal best towards the end of the season for sure.
I guess my questions for each of the players. I guess, what are your expectations for the season, and was there something specifically that you guys were working on for your personal goals?
Well, yeah, I'm senior, so I have to go all out. So this is the year I have to get all the fast times I could possibly get, and that has been my goal for the entire season. As far as the team goes, we have really strong returners, and then we have a lot of newcomers, and then kind of trying to build a little star group so we can just run together in the group, because that matters a lot in cross country.
I would say more of running as a team for the women. We have some really high potential, high quality women athletes this year. You'll see us running together,
as a team, and I think that's really important. There's power in numbers, and the smaller your gap is for cross country, the better you do. So I think focusing on that team aspect as well as trying to improve on your own individual performance is key for us this year.
Yeah, just going off of what Skylar said, we have a good blend of the women's team of newcomers and returners. So I'm really excited to see the potential of our newcomers as well as see the talent that has come from our returners and put that together in the mix. And so far in our runs, we've had a good pack of running together, and individually, it's like Jonas said, it's my senior year. I'd like to have some personal records. So.
Skylar, Kate, are you guys training any differently than you did a year ago? Have you upped it? Are you running more? Are you running less?
I think it varies for each of us. For me, I'm kind of starting out slower this year. Usually I'll have some of my best races towards mid-season. Like Hunter said, you want to be hitting those fast times, those personal bests later on in the season, come conference regionals. So I'm probably going to have a little bit of a slower start, just really work into that mileage, work into that pacing, and build from there. So we're performing when we need to at the right time. For Katie, I know she's put in a lot of work, and she could tell you about that.
Yeah, I've been training hard this summer, but I had an injury last summer, so I was making sure to listen to my body this summer and stay healthy for this season. And so I've been putting in a lot of work, but also remembering to stay healthy for the season.
Coach, is there an advantage to being in St. George? Because you can go up to Cedar up in the mountains and train. You can go down to Mesquite, a little more flat, a little hotter. I mean, is it a good place to run cross country because of the different terrain we have close by?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best things is the weather. You're able to run year round, where a lot of other places it's a little cold to run outside during the winter. Right now it's the opposite, a little too hot, so we go very early in the morning and then late at night to avoid the heat as much as we can. But a month from now it starts to get really nice, and we actually just spent the last 2 days up in Pine Valley on a couple of runs, so that was nice to get a little bit of altitude and cooler weather up there. And yeah, it's a great running atmosphere here in St. George.
Do you assign each athlete a specific amount of miles you want them to run in a week, or what's that program look like as far as what you're trying to instruct them to do? And I know some of that's communication back and forth on what the body can handle, like Katie said. Got to be careful not to overdo it.
Yeah, we have a pretty large range for the athletes on our team. Some are incoming freshmen, where in high school their teams may have only been running 20 to 30 miles a week, so we can't increase them too much from that. And we have others that have been higher mileage in high school, or upperclassmen that have been used to running that higher mileage. So the high end of the range this year would definitely be Hunter. He's consistently over 100 miles per week. And if you factor out, he only runs 6 days a week, so how much that is a day, it's a lot of running. He pretty much spent his whole summer running, so we're excited about what that's going to bring for him. And yeah, you guys know Skylar's name from winning a couple big races a couple years ago. She did sit out the cross country season last year. Definitely excited to have her back competing this year, and strong senior season. Hunter, 2 years ago as a freshman, was all conference, and then last year was on pace to be all conference again, but actually lost his shoes at our conference meet. It was a very muddy course and didn't have his shoes tied quite tight enough, so lost it and ran 4 out of the 5 mile race barefoot, so didn't finish quite where he should have been. So that's made him even hungrier this year to come back and have a strong season.
So wait a minute, Hunter, you just threw your shoes, you just left it?
Yeah, I've seen professionals on the track lose shoes and kind of just keep going. I thought it would be kind of the same deal. We do grass runs twice a week to recover, and I've done those barefoot before. This course was grass, but in those puddles was lava rock, just being over there in Hawaii. So I didn't realize that until I took off my shoe, or just let it just sit in the mud and just kept going. But it was pretty tough to run through those mud piles with some lava rock. It kind of did some damage to my feet, but yeah.
Question for Coach. time flies by when we get out here on the set. A couple questions left, but why don't you break down the schedule for us? You obviously have some usuals on that schedule, but then a new one and heading up to BYU, and you go to Northern Arizona and UNLV. I mean, you're going to get a lot of prep work and competition against Division I schools, and then even going down to UC San Diego to compete against Division II schools and even a lot of conference opponents that you may be racing against in those conference championships. Break the schedule down for us and help us understand what we see here.
Yeah, so these early races, it's all preparing us for the big races at the end of the season in conference and regionals. So yeah, a couple of the early ones, even though they're hosted by bigger Division I schools, there is several teams that go there, so there's a good mix of the schools that are there. So it's not just us competing against all Division I. I think NAU, usually Western New Mexico, is there, another D2 school, and BYU will get the chance to race against Westminster. And then San Diego is one of the bigger Division II meets of the season down there. So a lot of the top teams from the West region will be there. So give us a good chance to see that competition leading into those final meets.
Pac West Championships in Belmont, California, kind of in and around Notre Dame, Dana-Muir University. If anybody knows the geography of the Pac West Conference, do you know the course well at this point, or is that something you don't find out until you kind of get down there and you're able to see it?
Yeah, it's right next to Notre Dame's campus, but it's actually Holy Ames as a host, but they're doing it there because it's a dedicated cross-country course, dirt, hilly course, and actually, when I ran on the team back in 2007, so 10 years ago, that was the course for the conference championship. So I had the opportunity to run on that course, so I know it a little bit. None of our runners have yet, but it's a good course that we're looking forward to.
We'll keep our fingers crossed for all of you that it stays dry and that you can keep your shoes on this time. And we look forward to some good results and some records this season. We're looking forward to it. Our time has run out in this segment, but we appreciate you stopping by. We wish you the best of luck. Of course, that Northern Arizona George Kite Invitational is September 2nd. That will be the first meet of the season for the cross-country teams. We've got to take our next break. When we come back, we're joined by the defending Pac West champion men's soccer team. We'll be right back with that after this timeout.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know. My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You're a good girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialists and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
take care.
We will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Your daughter is having trouble learning French. Do you A, hire a tutor?
Bonjour.
B, enforce a French-only rule at home? Or C, watch some foreign films? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hey, Gabby, how you doing? How was the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey, guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you. Hi, babe. How was school today?
Hi, Dad. It was great.
Okay, honey, I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
The 2017 Fall Sports Media Day marches on as we welcome our next team, the defending Pac West men's soccer champions. This time to welcome the men's soccer team to join us on the set. Head coach Johnny Broadhead and his crew, we appreciate you being here. Guys, what we're going to do, we'll just have you introduce yourselves, and then we'll turn it back to you, Coach, for an opening statement before we open for questions.
My name is Brian Baugh. I'm a senior here, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
My name is Dominic D'Amato. I'm a junior here, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
My name is Lexi Beza. I'm a senior, and I'm from West Jordan, Utah.
Coach, opening statement.
Yeah, we're happy to be here. Soccer season's here, so everyone's smiling on the field and ready to go. Obviously, you guys are coming off a big year, so expectations, they're all there for the boys to stay motivated. But I've enjoyed the guys. We've had a good time in the spring, good time on campus, and I'm sure everyone's hunting for us. So mentally, we're making sure we do what we need to do to stay strong to win games, and we've had a lot of fun doing it.
Open up to questions.
Coach, usually when a new coach comes in, either the cupboard's bare or you're taking over a really, really bad team. But in this situation, you're taking over a team that was undefeated in the conference, and you got 4 all Pac West preseason players, a couple players that were on the region team. And you realize if you don't perform, you're going to get the blame, right?
No pressure.
Yeah, first head coaching job, so I guess, if you had to have it any way you could, nothing better than this, really. So everyone I can kind of take that with a smile and just kind of laugh. And, there's nothing wrong with playing with the chip on your shoulder. So these guys step into situations and don't doubt themselves. I don't want to get anywhere in the way with that. We had a nice spring, some good games. They had a nice product on the field. I don't think it was a fluke or anything. So these guys are cruising themselves. I'm kind of just making sure it's guiding the right way. Great leadership. So for it to continue and have another year, these guys are right there thinking it could. So I don't want to take away from that at all.
Brian, what is different? What feels different this year compared to last year so far through fall camp?
I mean, last year we kind of wanted to win conference. This year we've done it. We've been there. We know what we're capable of. And I mean, last year we were still the defensive team, where we sat back and just took it all game and hopefully we could score. This year with Johnny, we're changing where we want to keep the ball and go at teams and dictate the way we play.
Dominic, that close loss in the playoffs last year, how much do you think about that? Have you blocked it out new season, or do you use that as motivation still? You and your teammates discussed that at all before the camp started?
It's a sour subject when it's brought up, but it's definitely motivation for us. We want to be back there. We want to, get back and kind of show that we have more to put out than what we showed in that game. We missed some opportunities in that game, played on a lot of emotions, and that's got the best of us. So we're looking to get back there and kind of show what we got, so that we can do more.
Follow-up question, playing with your brother, right? What's that like? You guys scrap more than anybody else on the team, or is it pretty kosher?
It's fun. It's grown up playing with him my whole life. It's definitely fun. We're brothers. We fight more than typical teammates, but I think that just makes us closer. It kind of, if I'm playing bad, he gets on me, vice versa, and it's kind of that real kind of, that talk between us instead of a friend saying what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear. So.
Alexa, midfield. Talk about that position. Talk about the other guys you got and how the midfielders are doing so far, yourself included, in fall camp now that it's underway.
I feel like we are doing well, and and then we have a lot of returners coming back, so I feel like we have a good momentum going forward, and then also coach is pushing us to be one of the best midfields in the Pac West, hopefully, and we're working hard every day.
Follow up to that in what you're game planning for and what you're doing this year. Alexis and Coach, you can answer this as well. As a midfielder in this system, are you going to be playing back more, or are you going to get the chance to get up and maybe have a chance to put the ball in the back of the net?
Personally, I believe I'm going to be sitting back a little bit more, let Dom here roam a little bit more. I'll personally be holding a little bit more. So,
Brian, they've widened the field a little bit. Have you been working on those long throw-ins?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Don't worry about that. Still got it.
All right, we look to see some of those goals this year.
Brian, really, even though you're just a senior this year, you've really been leading a team leader for the last couple of years before today, or before this year. What seeing the change from where you were as a freshman to where the team is now, and the steps along the way, is it pretty satisfying to see the team up to the level where it is now as you're going out?
I mean, absolutely. There are a lot of steps to get to where we were. I mean, we were 2-12 my freshman year, 2-12 my sophomore year. So there's a lot of losses to get to being 13-0. But we got a lot of new guys in to help us out. We got a new coach, so it's very satisfying to be one of the best teams in the Pac West.
My question for Brian, just keeping with you. You won some awards last year, and now you got some preseason accolades too. I know you guys had 8 shutouts last year. You kind of feeling the pressure back there at all, or not really?
No. I mean, all my awards are because of my teammates. These two sit in front of me. They do all the hard work. I kind of just sit behind them and yell at them. So it's not that hard for me. But, I mean, it's a team game. Individual awards don't mean anything to me. It's about winning conference, going to the NCAA tournament.
Coach, we heard Brian talk a little bit about strategy, maybe a little bit more aggressive, maybe try to pick up the scoring just a little bit. Who did you learn from? I know you've been at UVU and some other stops. What kind of strategy are you trying to implement? I don't want to get lost in the weeds, but give us an overview of that, what the team might look and how it might be different from last year.
It's a tough question. The game's always evolving, the sport, how it's played. Really, I think it gravitates towards the players on the team. Let me do what I like to do, just kind of make sure I do it within the team atmosphere. So these guys like to attack. They'll defend tough. They're into being complete players. So, pushing with numbers, exciting. So the nice stuff on YouTube, beating a defender off the dribble, passing well, crossing, scoring out of the air. Their, defensive side of things, what do I do if I'm not on the ball? They're very into being educated. They have a lot of work to do. I mean, they had a lot of success, but they have a lot of areas to improve, and they know that and they like that. And so that's where I think the motivation of success last year, and now, I show them some things where it says, you're good at this, do this. If I like you doing this, you do that. And that's no different than the previous coaches. I think, the team evolved quite a bit, and the coaches did a good job before me. But they'll be fun to watch. You edge of your seat. These guys here, they'll wow you. They're ready to put on a good show for everybody.
Brian, who's the fastest in practice?
Probably me. No, I don't know.
Okay, who's got the biggest foot in practice then?
Biggest foot? Oh. Moy can hit a ball really well. Gabby, that's tough. Yeah, probably those two can probably hit the ball the best.
Brian, last year you were, after a good year the year before, you were seeded 9th. Then last year you were going undefeated and you're seeded 3rd. Coming in this year, does that give you any motivation?
The preseason polls don't really mean anything to us. We were picked 12th 2 years ago, 7th last year. Coaches can think what they want. We're going to go out and play our game regardless.
Well, guys, we appreciate you stopping by today. I've been telling some of the other teams, you get out here and the time just flies by so fast. We'd love to keep you out here for 20 or 30 minutes, but time constraints just do not allow. But we wish you the best of luck this season, and we'll be following closely that title defense. the men's soccer team getting on the pitch just 2 weeks from today against Northwest Nazarene, and then some games against Montana State Billings and Eastern New Mexico following up after that in the weeks following. We've got to take our final break of the day. When we come back, we welcome our final team. Last but certainly not least, the volleyball team will join us on set right after this timeout.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Welcome back to Fall Sports Media Day one final time as we welcome our final team of the day, a team that finished in the third place tie last year and is hungry to get back to the top of the conference into the NCAA tournament this season. It's time for the volleyball team. Head coach Robin Felder and her crew. Coach will let your players introduce themselves. Also have your new assistant coach introduce yourself. We'll go down the table and then just turn it back over to you, Coach, for an opening statement.
All right. My name's David Richards, and I've been doing volleyball for like 30, 40 years, and I'm really excited here to be the assistant with Robin and Dixie State Volleyball.
My name's Kayla Chapman, and I'm from Fullerton, California, and I am a junior middle blocker this year.
My name's Sydney Brandon. I'm from Bountiful, Utah. I am a junior, and I'm a libero.
My name's Brett Barney. I'm from Prescott, Arizona, and I'm a right side hitter.
Coach, just a general opening statement on this year's season.
All right, well, we're in day 4 of Hell Week, as we like to call it, and they're working hard. We've got a bunch of new faces this year, lots of old faces. The gym has a great feel to it so far. They're working hard. We've got, Dave has offered us just some amazing experience with all his knowledge of volleyball. So we've thrown a lot at them the last 4 days, and they are doing fantastic so far. So we're excited.
Great. Thank you, Coach. Let's turn it over to questions from our media.
I'm just curious how you guys, got together and how you got him on staff with you.
Yeah, well, it was a Christmas miracle. So we team camp. He was watching his niece, and we started talking volleyball a little bit. And I knew his name, and I kind of looked him up. I thought, this is the same guy that is amazing, And so I shot him a, hey, if you ever want to coach, you know where to find me. And the next day he was like, hey, yeah, let's do it. And so my assistant Liz just happened to come ill this summer, and that opening was wide, and he's the perfect man to fill it. So it was really quite amazing.
Coach, last year, at the beginning of the year, we had a tournament here, and it was great just to see the team, have the fans get to see the team a lot at the beginning, but you didn't do it again this year. You're back on the road again at the beginning of the year. Was there a reason that you didn't have it again?
When we set up that tournament, we promised to go to them, and they come to us, so we gotta keep up with our end of the bargain. So we're headed to Monterey, and then the following year we'll have to go to Nampa as part of that 3-team commitment to be in that tournament. So that kind of tied our hands to host this year.
Yes, Coach, I know 2013, 14, 15, just always in the NCAA tournament every year. Last year, didn't make it. I guess what's it like going for you, trying to get back to the tournament again with these girls?
I think we're hungry. I mean, that's been the feeling, especially my girls that have been there. They're like, we want to go back there. And so I think incorporating the new girls into our system, what we do, what Dixie Volleyball is, and where we want to be. I think last year was a turn of events with a few injuries and a few key things that just didn't allow us to be right where we wanted to be at the end of the season. So hoping that we can have a strong start and get ourselves back in position to return. That's our goal.
Coach, you've lost a lot from last year, but you do have a lot of players that got that experience, I guess, because of those injuries. But I remember at the beginning of the year last year, you said some of your backups you felt were just as capable as your starters. So a lot of them are going to be in starting positions this year. Just talk about, how you feel experience-wise going into this season.
Yeah, obviously Sydney and Brett played last year, but a lot of our backups are our starters this year. And it's their sophomore, their junior year. They know what we do. They have a little bit of experience, so it's been fun to see them in camp be in that starting role. And they're just loving it. I mean, like I said, when you've had a kid that's redshirted a year and then got a little bit of experience, and now to see him out there and killing it, it's fun to see that development of a player. So you'll see a lot of familiar faces out there that are, you've seen maybe on the bench before, that now it's time for them to step up and get it done. So we're excited.
Brett, have you and your teammates talked team goals? Have you thought about some individual things you'd like to accomplish as long as the teams have success?
Yeah, so we did. We had a team night a few nights ago where we set some goals. And one of those goals was to put everything that we have on the court, and I just feel blessed to be with a team who's willing to give it their all, and so that's one of our goals is, of course, to go back to the NCAA tournament and win the conference. But everybody is in it, and everyone wants to do that. So I think we're lucky to have the same goals in mind.
So what's the off season like for you for volleyball? How much time do you get in the gym? Do you set like a practice schedule where you can get in and out, or do you take a big break? What's it like?
For the off season, are you talking about spring or summer?
All of it.
All of it.
Well,
spring we still get to practice with each other, which is super nice, and we work on the rough bumps that we've had and what we can work out, the kinks and things like that. So that's awesome. And then in the summer, tons of us stayed, and so we got to get in the sack at least 4 times a week, lift weights with our strength coach, and that's going to help us out immensely this year.
Do you play in the sand? Did you try to hit a beach and play in the sand? Does that help?
Yeah, we love playing sand. We obviously not during the day because it burns our feet, but we try to go at night, and it helps with our vert and also like our agility and speed, so we love to play sand.
Coach, this year's team, just 3 seniors on the breakdown as you look at it. Quite a few juniors, but a fairly young team. However you want to look at it, how does that play into what you're doing, and what role does that place on your seniors, on your older players to provide leadership?
Yeah, we are really excited with our freshman class this year. This is probably since I've been here, our strongest freshman class. I mean, we're definitely going to have some freshmen out there playing because they came in hungry, ready to go. They're in shape. They want to play, and they're competitive. I mean, right out the gate. And so we're going to, it's definitely pushed our upperclassmen to be better, but we're going to be young this year. But I really feel like if we can work out some of the consistency issues and just freshmanitis, a little bit of those kinks, that, we're going to be very competitive.
Kayla, 92 kills last year. What should we expect from you this year?
I am just so excited to play another year and just hit the court. So, I can't say what's going to happen, but I'm just so excited to get out there again. And I love the new plays that we've been implementing just this week. We're trying brand new things that many of us have never tried before. And so if we can nail those down, I really think that we're going to have such a strong offense this year.
Coach, is there anyone like Delane Daniel coming in to just take over a game right away, either freshman or a transfer that on this year's team?
Yeah, we've got some big jumpers this year. We've got some young kids that jump out of the gym, and not necessarily Delane. Delane was kind of her own unique, but definitely kids that are similar to that swing from the back row, swing from the front row, are a weapon all the time. So I think you're going to have fun watching our offense this year, and Dave's got us trying new stuff. He's got us, it's funny to hear him say, well, I did this with the national team, and I think it would really, it's like, oh, yeah, we could try that. If the national team's doing it, we could give it a shot. So he's got some great stuff that we're working into our offense. So it's been exciting to see that be incorporated into it.
Coach Richards, how much of the offense that you've ran in other situations are you going to put in this season?
With work with USA, we've done just a lot of different combination plays and transition and that, and it is amazing what we've got accomplished in 4 days. I didn't know what to expect, and these girls are amazing, and our ball control's there, and they're actually running all the plays, and it's just front, back row, the combination. And it's amazing to see these girls just get after it and do these plays. And we are going to be so good. Our group is really talented. Freshmen to seniors, really, really talented. So just really excited for what we're going to accomplish this year.
Coaches and players last year in the Pac West. It's nice to go against Cal Baptist one last time and Azusa and those schools.
Yeah, we've had some good rivalries with them. I'm actually so sad to lose those conference season-wise. Hopefully we can still see them preseason and slug it out again. But, it's Cal's last year, it's our last year, so me and Brandon are like, all right, buddy, it's me and you, it's our farewell season. So it's fun to have those rivalries, though. I mean, I feel like every team we're like, oh, yeah, we have bad blood with everybody, and that's a good thing. It's fun. It's not a bad thing, but it's just exciting to be playing those same teams home and away, and just, to have those relationships where they're coming to bring their best and you're bringing yours, so.
Players, coach says, you kind of got bad blood with everybody. Is there one team that's circled on that schedule that you're saying in this, Pac West Farewell Tour, this is who I'm looking forward to playing?
I love to play Cal Baptist. I think they're such a good, strong team. And I know that we are too, so I love to play them. As soon as you get on the court, there's something between you and the other players. It's so fun. But that is funny because that is so true about Coach. Before every single team we play, she goes, okay, I've got to beat these. We've got to beat these guys. I need to beat them. So it's so funny because she has it out to get all the teams.
I'm the exact same Cal Bap. I love playing them. They're amazing, and we are too, so it's such a fun game. And they keep taking it from us, but we want it. So we're here for this year.
We certainly look forward to that matchup this year, and really the whole season in general. This goes so fast. We get you out here, and we've actually run out of time already on our media day event, but we're looking forward to the season. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we get to see you at home until September 16th is what I see at California Baptist. We're at home, that home opener, that will be at 12 noon on that Saturday. But the volleyball team heading down to Cal State Monterey Bay to play a couple games, and then at the West Region Showcase at Central Washington as well. We'll keep a close eye on those games. Thanks for stopping by today. It's been an exciting day as we've received the lowdown on each of the Dixie State fall sports programs. Like I mentioned, we have run out of time, but we'd like to wish the best to these teams as they get set to begin the 2017 season. We also like to thank our media panel as well as the great CEC TV crew for their work behind the scenes to help make this event a success. We thank Andy, our radio producer, for helping us get connected and staying connected on the radio side. And finally, we want to thank all of you for watching or listening today. As a final reminder, we want to remind you that you can catch Trailblazer Weekly, our weekly highlights show, coming up our first episode on August 29th, and then it will air each Tuesday at noon. After that, you can also find recaps, results, and analysis online at DixieStateAthletics.com. I'm Carrick Segmiller, and this has been the 2017 Dixie State Fall Sports Media Day. Have a great day.